Right now he's got 5 plus 18.
Cool. Oh!
Infinity.
Hey, I got you, friend.
9.
Wow.
18. 36. Oh, Fino.
You're not beating that.
Nope, doesn't happen. You can see it. Don't need words from us. You can see what that means to Fino. He tweeted last night just saying, I don't know what it is. I don't know what else I can do. And in that situation, like, that encapsulates that feeling. Like, what else is he supposed to do?
I mean, Casey can't even believe it. I mean, is he just supposed to equality that turn? Like, can you possibly be bad or good enough to play around Divine Spirit, Inner Fire from exactly 3 cards with no extra cards drawn? Like,
so
nobody would do that.
Here is my only possible suggestion. The turn where you said he can't just equality this turn, he could have just equality'd that turn. He trades into the 1 minion that's in play and leaves the Armet then just as a 2-1, just sat on board, which does have counterplay. That does go wrong sometimes, but I think it's something to consider. Like, I'm not calling that a mistake in any way, but it's my job here to not just feel sorry for players and try and point things out. I think that's an option to consider. That's as far as I'm going with it.
I guess where I'm sad is it feels like part of my job is to put you in the shoes of the player.
Yeah.
How does that feel to be in that situation? What
Horrible.
can you do?
Horrible.
And I think that's the feeling I'm trying to convey here because I feel it personally.
Yeah.
I just, golly, that it's exciting to see these busted draws and stuff like that happen, but
yeah.
Cut him in a break. Give him one game. One game. That's all I'm saying.
Well, he's got up to 2 more to play with from this point, Admirable. So if you're a Fino fan, you just got to hope. Just send him your energy and hope that he can dig his way out of this.
Look, the glass is always full. It's never half full. It's always full. Just sometimes it's full of air. But it's full. Even at the worst position, try to find a positive perspective.
Gotcha.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
We got to go to break. When we come back, it's game number 2 of Casey taking on Fino. Fino, back up against the wall. Has to turn it around.
Darker than they've ever been. As evil descends from the skies, the world cries out, how will we survive? Out of the hall of explorers, and up from the dusty tombs, they grab their whips and fedoras. These legends of the past know exactly what to do. There might be magic monsters, mummies in the markets, and ancient mysticism. But this league's gonna save the world.
My name is Sam Braithwaite, and I'm the Senior Global Franchise Lead for Hearthstone Esports. This event was especially cool because it takes place right after the brand new expansion, Rise of Shadows. Historically in Hearthstone Esports, we do our big events like this towards the end of an expansion cycle. But we really wanted to shake things up and really showcase that not only is the world champion the person who can pilot the best decks, but also the person who, when presented with a brand new game, can put together the best decks leading into the World Championship. Cheers to you guys, the sold-out crowd here for the HCT 2019 World Championship.
Welcome back to 2019 HCT World Championship.
We've had a lot of fun games, and we're looking forward to the grand finals. showdown. Viper versus Hunter Ace. Only one can be the champion. Oh, come on!
Match be dead.
Waggle pick of this coming out from Hunter Ace.
It's now or never. Archvillain report.
Okay! In a completely solved game, Hunter Ace finds a way to maximize his chances. It's been a wonderful journey throughout the past few years of the Hearthstone Championship Tour, where stars were made and dreams came true.
Fourth match of spectacular Sunday here at Hearthstone Grandmasters for Europe. I'm Nathan, that's Admirable Zamora. I'm joined by Simon Soto Welch, and right now Casey is off to a 1-0 lead with the perfect ending to the game he just had against Vito.
Yeah, not much more to add to it than that. It was a brutal beat in the state that he got into. Whether you can have questions about whether that state was inevitable or not. I'm sure it will be debated far into the future by far smarter men than I. But the real state
so by anybody.
the real state of the situation is that Fino now is going back to his Paladin, and he has the hotly contested matchup against Druid to play out, and he absolutely, no hyperbole, no exaggeration, no ifs, buts, or maybes, needs a win here.
Why do you say hotly contested? Why do you say hotly contested?
Well, we've had fights about it, about how possible or not possible it is for Druid to out-heal the damage from the Paladin. I know Ball Control chimed in on it as well and said that he never gets out-healed in the matchup.
Yeah.
That qualifies, right?
Yeah, I wish this can of worms wouldn't be open because I need to clarify myself. My messaging was poor on that. The whole point of it was not to call out mistakes in gameplay. It was to call out mistakes in process.
We weren't even talking about that. You do not have to go there.
That's what it reminds me of, though. I mean, that's where it was hotly contested. Was that right? Sure. Yeah. I know I always tell people I want to see him slow down and think. These two players are the exact players that I give the exception to because this is when they play their best. When they have practiced, they have confidence in themselves, and they just go through the motions. It's the mixture of the two that always seems weird to me. Like, when you play fast, but you also take your time, like, I feel like that's where I see players end up making the most mistakes is because, like, they're not in a rhythm or a flow. Like, you're a human being at the end of the day. You're not a machine, and you're not going to play that way. Like, find the groove that works for you, and get to it.
Personally, my only bugbear on this kind of things is just players like waiting for the rope to appear before they do anything, which in a lot of cases just causes them to run out of time. Apart from that, I will rarely, if ever, criticize someone for play speed if they're doing what feels natural to them. I think that is the most important thing to do. Whatever your rhythm is, just find that place and stay there because that's when you're generally going to play your best.
Yep. You've noticed it's tough to talk about some of the macro details at the pace that they play. A lot of their decisions are, I'd say, mildly affecting things. For Casey right now, it's just about waiting to complete quest and then get something going. And so in the meantime, just do everything you can to try to prevent damage from chipping away at you. You want to just make it as difficult as possible for Fino to deliver those final blows. And for Fino, it's launch the card draw and get busy. Find a way to make it awkward for Casey to get pressure back on you. If there's one way I think that you could potentially make the game awkward, it's by using this Crystal Smith Kangor alongside the High Priest the Call and just getting to an enormous life total where you're like, 14 attack on board.
Yeah, Fino is going to start pushing 60 sooner rather than later if something's not done about this. So Casey says, fair enough, we will do something about it.
Not much else to Starfall.
Nope. The dreaded turn 7.
one day Paladin will have a card here that matters.
What do you want the Paladin 7-drop to do exactly, Admirable?
I don't know if I want it to be a 7-drop.
Well, okay, the
I
the
actually
card
do.
for turn 7.
It's a 7-mana card. It says discard the 2 lowest cost cards in your hand.
Ooh.
Draw the 2 highest cost cards in your deck.
That sounds broken. I like
Oh,
it.
it does sound broken. That's why I want it.
Yeah.
Always draw the Shrivala. And then lead into Prismatic Lens on turn 8 with a True Silver Champion.
Do you like to play with fire?
Casey says no thank you to the Pyromancer.
Casey also says yes, please, to actually generating some pressure, which he's, of course, not been able to do, as is the nature of Quest Druid, but now it ramps up very, very, very quickly, and Fino has limited resources to allocate to dealing with these boards. He has timeouts for a couple of turns, and he has a couple of major board clears. So the key often is just finding ways to engineer positions where you don't necessarily need to clear a board, and that's another factor of why that Thekol plus Crystal Smith Kangor combo was so key for Fino early on. So he now does have that little health buffer to play with.
Yeah, it's just 8 extra health, but that represents almost a full attack.
Yep.
Quality Pyro Hammer. Looks the best to me.
Do you like to play with fire?
Eight cards left in deck for Fino.
Yeah, Fino absolutely turboing his way through this card draw.
It's going to slow down a little bit here.
Well, we'll wait and see. All right.
No timeouts drawn for Fino yet.
Just buy time however you can. Yeah, that subdue is one of the real X factors that can buy you a turn. It's not included in one of those timeout or major clear turns that I was talking about.
I saw Gold Portrait, Legendary being drawn.
Thought it was the Scenarios.
Ooh, if that would have been Scenarios.
Yeah.
It is not.
7-mana 6/6, not as impressive as it is against Warrior, but there's no way that Casey is going to get to the end of his deck before it's game over one way or the other here.
Is that the breathing room Fino needed? They would have stacked 6 extra on this turn and demanded attention.
If it was the Scenarios.
Yep.
Yep.
And with Casey sitting at 21, you have to think about Holy Wraths. Do I need to get 2 of them in? Maybe not. But if I use a Holy Wrath and there's Casey's hanging on to healing, how bad is that going to look? Clear it up. Smash face. Keep going.
Power takes measure.
Casey with 11 cards left. Ferocious Howl, Swipe. Drawing both of those will activate Elise and activate Zephrys. Crystal Merchant as well, excuse me. 3 cards that he has to find before those are active.
Don't think there's time.
Thinking he needs Nourish and Ferocious Howls.
Okay.
Well, I started to say the Nourish as it appeared. Uh-oh. Fino's out of ways to clear board, though. Zephrys would be the last option that can do it.
Almost out of cards.
Is that both cards at the bottom timeout?
Timeout, timeout, bottom 2. Zephrys, first turn this has been active. He has a 50-50 lethal out right now. With the Zephrys Soulfire route.
Let me think.
I don't think he's willing to take that. going to move into Holy Wrath timeout next turn.
Yep. Crystal Merchant drawn. So the remaining cards are now what for release?
I thought there was a swipe, but...
Oh, it's active. Yeah, okay.
When did he swipe this game? Oh, he swiped super early.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Also, he has 2 Innovates in hand, so if he can duplicate this Hidden Oasis, he can heal for 24 in 1 turn.
Ooh.
I'm afraid.
Oh, bees. He can bees to produce mana this turn. So gloop bees with Zephrys, dupe the Zephrys card, hang on to 1 copy of Innervate, dupe the Innervate. Oh, this is way complicated.
Oh,
turn.
you're so right. This turn is actually impossible.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea.
Behold, jewels of the sun.
Your wish is my
What? Did the Hidden Oasis happen?
No.
No, it didn't. Okay. There was a moment where the Hidden Oasis got pointed, which like really freaked me out. It was the part I couldn't understand.
Oh my gosh, I think he got the perfect setup.
Explain.
Well, look at his hand. He's able to dump everything, duplicate the Hidden Oasis, and play 2 of them in the same turn.
No, he isn't.
Why not?
Let me
Wait, that works with enough mana with Floop's Glorious Gloop and Bees? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the Floop's Glorious Scoop and Bees produces the mana back.
Okay. Okay.
You just have to have the board space for the bees. Which, given the board state right now, he's got.
Okay.
I think he drew the wrong card to make it happen. So you gloop, you start trading in. Your goal is to clear off, I think, as many minions as possible here. Yeah, that's the one. Maybe it's your own Oasis Surgery, even. I think Casey's trying to guarantee something and he can't quite find it.
Yeah, you can absolutely do it, right? If you bees, that gives you back 8. No, it only gives you back 4 because you haven't released the gloop. That's the difference from like doing the actual OTK bees combo. I don't think it ever gets you enough mana back to be able to do the full release, double innovate at the end. That would take me a long time of just sitting and staring and counting to work out for sure, but I don't think it happens.
Oh, that's so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just thinking on the setup on the previous turn. You dupe the whole, you dupe it.
That's
that
what
turn.
I was. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. If you do it on the previous turn, then in the turn after you can heal for 24, and then you're potentially outranging the opponent.
You just didn't have board space to do that stuff, right? Because you can't guarantee the Oasis. That's a
It
super
was
complicated
so hard,
turn.
so hard. The last 2 turns, absolutely incredibly difficult from Casey's side. I'm fairly confident there was a way out. I couldn't tell you with any clarity exactly what it was.
Either way, Bino gets there, and I think some very clean work on his side. Saw one stumble on the opposing side, and even with both timeouts buried, is able to stave off pressure and get to that point.
Yeah.
Like that's how the games. I feel like he's expected them to be going, and it's just every turn he was under constant pressure. And so on this one, Casey's turn is super complicated. I'd have to sit down for, I'd say, probably half an hour to find the ideal way to set up how he did. He's obviously he's looking for the second Ferocious Howl in that spot.
Yeah.
That was buried at the bottom of his deck.
Yeah.
Same way the timeouts are buried in that situation too, to try to protect himself, but he had everything to stave off the pressure. And you saw like just the Thakal giving him a little bit of breathing room. Like it meant that Casey is like, how much pressure can I really apply in this spot? I have to just keep drawing.
Yeah, because the other kicker that I'm not even factoring in on top of all the things we're unsure about is that True Silver Champion that he ended up oozing. Like I think that was his goal that turn. So with the line I'm suggesting where you just duplicate the hand, I don't think you then also end up Zephrys oozing at the end of the turn. So then there's 4 more damage coming through anyway. I don't know if that changes anything with the fact you're healing with 24 afterwards, which I'm not going to stop and do the maths right now, but it's really, really close, right? In terms of healing for 24, he would have been down to 3 to begin with.
So,
and then the True Silver comes through. Like, it's so razor fine on every single aspect.
So he's losing the first taunt to the Shrivala.
Yeah.
The second taunt gets lost to the second Shrivala, so you'd have to have a third taunt in the way, plus be at the extra health for the Holy Wrath, plus either the Zephrys for Soulfire, or the True Silver connecting to not blow you up from 30 in that spot.
Super tight.
That is one of the most complicated endgame situations that I have seen in that matchup.
Yep. And we haven't even started talking about how much mana he could have got back with his bees that turn and what that made possible.
So we're on to Quest Shaman versus Combo Priest.
Hey, I got you, friend.
It's the kind of matchup Fino's looking for. Not the kind of start he's looking for, but there's plenty of ways to get some things done.
It's the right way.
Casey, perfect draw. For Fino, is it the same?
Yes, it is. Even if not this turn, I think you can call a Nausea Cleric a perfect draw on any given turn with this Priest deck.
Take the 2-card draw.
Yeah, totally agree.
Is someone injured?
And there it is.
Casey clap.
The Casey clap, indeed.
And no answer.
I hope you like my invention.
Wolf Rider.
Yeah, we take those.
Is that good enough?
It's a lot better than the 1-1 he started with.
All right, Fino's got some thinking to do because I think this spot is the critical turn for him.
Extra arms doesn't pose anything particularly attractive here. Coin Armet is in danger. Well, there's no Lackey in hand just yet, so it's not in danger to Wasp immediately.
Yeah, I was wondering about the Pyro turns.
So it's a Topsy turn then?
You Topsy, you coin, you heal.
I must
Your
consider.
Pyro dies, but you get to draw a card and maintain the Cleric.
So that line doesn't seem like the greatest.
Pyro, coin, heal, Topsy doesn't work in order of in terms of trying to preserve your Pyromancer. You have to Topsy first, so that the first point of damage goes on to a 6-2 and not a 2-6.
Can you coin Pyro, Topsy, heal, trade?
Yes. You don't kill a 2-1 though, and then that contests your Cleric after the fact.
You do actually. Beaming Sidekick trades in. Northshire Cleric gets healed up to 3. It bumps, leaves it vulnerable to the Sandstorm.
I will take your word for it. The board state is gone.
It's gone.
I'll take your word for it.
Dude,
I'll believe
these
you.
games are so complicated.
Yeah,
like
they
it
are very
is insane how tight these spots are. I am generally in the camp of dislike Priest, but these games are just, it's like the tiniest of margins possible that can decide things.
Right.
So if I'm in Fino's spot, I think I value healthier Cleric over Pyro on board.
I wonder.
And facing down 2 evil totems, you have to think, do I want to start chipping them away, or do I want this High Priest Amit in play?
The Armet is extremely hard to challenge from hand here. Even if it was perfect lackeys and a Wasp, that only just about takes care of it.
Well, Casey's got the lackeys part.
Yep.
Missing the Wasp, but Wasp is exactly what Fino's thinking about. The other thing, too, is if you don't contest the totems, how many more lackeys could he get that could make life miserable?
Yeah, 2 ticks on Casey's quest right now.
I must
So if
consider.
these 2 totems summon again, that is quest complete for Casey with 1 mana cards from this point, which is so fast.
He wants to kill his Northshire.
He does.
Not this turn.
No. Only 4.
I hope you like my invention.
That could do it sometimes.
My dragon be hungry.
Protect Cable Rat. Protects the totem. Okay, sure, yeah, it's 4 health.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, I was going to say hide the totem behind the cable wrap, but the cable wrap would only have 3 health, would be a decent trade on the board.
Prevents also just the bump heal. That's not an option anymore. If you want to heal, you got to heal the totem.
Sure.
Beautiful. Very strange way to protect the totem. It looks counterintuitive, but that's right.
I wonder. I must consider.
Fino needs another pyro stat right now.
He's going in.
He is going in. Can't fault him for it.
That is scary.
Rush Lackey, bounce the Rush Lackey, replay the Rush Lackey, rush the new Rush Lackey? If you followed all that, God bless.
It sounded like Russian to me.
So hang on, the first Lackey adds 1 to the board, so that's 4, 5, 6. You then bounce it back, replay it, that's 9, replay, that's 14. I think he can kill it. I think he kills it exactly with all of those rushes I just described. Because this is now 6. And if he plays the Bog Slusher and adds Rush to that, that's 4 more. And then replays the Goblin Lackey he already has. No, it doesn't quite work.
Are you sure? I think it does.
No, it does. Yes, it does.
Use
Yes.
both Goblin Lackeys.
Yes, it does. Yeah. I was right the first time.
How dare you doubt yourself?
I know. Tell me about it. Huge commitment, though. First off, just good spot for seeing that it was possible. Second, well done for executing it in the time allotted, because I was still doubting myself when that rope appeared.
Yeah.
But thirdly, that is a huge resource sink into that Nausea Cleric.
I mean, the barista turn was going to be massive,
Yep.
and that got shut down.
Yep.
And so for Fino, looking at that Buon Samdi, that's the saving grace, I think. Is once again Buon Samdi going to be the hard carry that Priest needs? I'm looking at a pair of 3s right here. Fino's looking stressed.
Rightly so. And rightly so.
I think the Buon Samdi has spelled out your game plan for you, though.
Speak to me.
Ooh.
This is where Casey takes control of the board, though. That is not what you want to see.
Big turn.
Buon Samdi is just checked on the following turn. The board's going to snowball further away from Fino.
That's what the Ahmet's for, though.
It is. It is. Ethereal Lackey in Casey's future, I think, might be the big kicker if he can find one. The pressure is coming. Can Casey just
Is this
afford
full
to
face?
go? Yeah, I was going to say, can Casey just afford to go face here?
20, 15, 14, 13 with only 3 damage loaded up in the Shutterwalk? I don't think so. I think you're just barely off. I think you still have to respect board.
If he'd have pushed 9 more face there, he would have been at 15.
Oh my.
Will get shut down.
Oh my.
I see a dark future.
It's getting bigger. It's not done yet.
You, friend.
You fought hard, Casey, but it's Buon Samdi with Ahmet for the first time. I have never seen both players this tense in a match.
Casey choosing not to attack with his minions first to get all those extra rush buffs is going to come in super crucial here, because now That extra damage is pushed. There is a taunt in
Circle
the way.
of healing.
That one minion dying cost Casey the ability to be able to play Mogu Flesh Shaper here as well.
I'm pretty sure that's lethal. I'm not a scientist, but I'm counting this damage up, and it's a lot.
I wonder.
Silence the Lackey. Northshire Cleric. Bump to 114. Circle of Healing fetches you 2. You still have 8 mana left over. 3 heals go on to the Light Warden. That's 7 damage.
I must consider.
You have 14 more sticking in play. 16 because of the Ahmed.
23 minimum just with what he has in hand right now.
Wild Pyro shows up, but no extra healing. Pyro, silence, Nephroset Ritualist. Draw some more.
27 at that point. 29 then if you were to be able to get the heal through first, which you can't.
You got a heal to face as well. Cost you 2 mana.
Yep.
Rope is burning. He's got to hurry it up.
I think this is 29 if I've kept track of it all accurately. We're about to find out.
Power Word Shield. That's the extra damage.
That is the extra damage. That is the extra damage. Power Shield is lethal.
Did he not get it off?
Is an afterthought.
Okay, yeah. Second digits. Re-injuring in the Nephroset. Re-injuring in the Nephroset is the same damage. Oh, no!
He didn't get the attack off.
I think Casey is just trying to do the right thing right now and establish that it wasn't a disconnect or anything nefarious like that before he delivers this. I am honestly speechless right now. Casey has to do his job. It's not his fault.
He's torn. He doesn't know what to do. He's thinking of, I mean, he's clearly thinking about the conceit. It has to be what he's thinking about.
I mean, you can't. Unless there was, some kind of disconnect issue that you want to pass over to an admin and get a ruling. Like, if it was just user error and you just ran out of time, you can't. It's a tournament integrity issue. You have to win the game. I respect the thought from Casey because he is a sportsman and he is a nice guy, and I'm honestly as shook up about that as anyone is, because that extra draw with the Power Shield and then the Nephroset Ritualist, like, he saw it, he chose to execute it in a different way than we suggested, but it was a way that would have ended up lethal. And then I'm not going to speculate on why the attack didn't go through, whether, hands were shaking, nerves, like anything could have happened, client side, his side, whatever, but it happened. And we just got to move on from that point.
I ain't got the words.
I don't either, to be perfectly honest. Like, how is that going to happen? Like, loss after loss, and then it comes to the point where it looks like he's finally going to have this sick turn where he gets over the line and digs this lethal out of the bottom of his deck, and then for it just to fail at the last second. There's no descriptor that we can give to it that paints the picture better than what just actually happened.
Casey, can you hear us?
Hey.
I mean, you obviously know what I'm going to ask you about, and it's the only thing I'm going to ask you about, and I'm going to give you this time to say whatever you want about it, because that was... Man, this is tough.
I think it's actually not Fino's fault. I think it's like the actual, when we play on the super accounts, it's lagging really hard from time to time. Charla yesterday also DC'd when he wanted to play Holy Wrath, and the turn against Boston where I roped out on Zephyrs and Twisting Ladder, and then I also just lagged out. I wanted to take Twisting Ladder instead of Brawl, but it took Brawl because it just started lagging. And at some point, you just move your attacks, and then on the super account, it just starts lagging out for some reason.
I don't know what to say, man. This is easily the hardest moment of my entire life.
Same.
I think is to come up with words here that make any sense and something that feels
Like, I feel
appropriate
so
for the
bad.
situation.
Do you have?
I feel worse than when I would have lost, actually. Like, it's against Fino, one of my best friends, and one of the best guys that I talked to the most in whole of 2018. And now winning, like, I played against him in the finals of Orange County. I played against him in the semifinals of Seed Story Cup. And then the best memories in my professional Hearthstone career. And now this is like, no, like playing Priest against anyone right now feels bad. But winning like this, I don't know. I have no word. Fuck. Sorry.
Don't be sorry for nothing.
It's a high tension situation, but I think the best thing we can do at this point, Casey, is just let you go and recover, and we'll try and get on with the show as best as we can. Well played. Try and remember that you have picked up a win at the end of the day, and that is important to you.
Have a nice day.
Look, it's tough to come up with something to say here, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. Like, it's just dramatic.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what I want from competition, is high emotion. I want high stakes. I want everything to matter. I guess I'm getting exactly what I want.
You can't say that it's not good television at the very least. Like, yikes.
My heart's pounding, man.
You couldn't. I mean, we've made this joke before with Hearthstone, where like we have the best script writers in the business, right? Like the way that random stuff sometimes lines up to tell these stories, but like that was unbelievable. It's brutal and it's savage, and like I can see you are on the verge of tears right now, because we have this job of having to commentate on friends of ours who are in incredibly difficult situations.
I cast that finals that he's talking about,
Yeah,
and we talked so much about like they both deserve it, and it's like just like the way that they reacted just to each other in that finals, just them being there, and then the way that Casey was just so happy for Fino when he won in that situation, the way that Fino felt sad for Casey that he was defeated in that situation, and then it all culminates to this point. Like, what is going on? Yogg's taking over the world, man. His puzzle box has been opened somewhere, and crazy stuff is happening constantly.
Should we do some ball control versus Psycho?
Yes,
Admirable?
we should, and it's going to be tough to top what we just saw. But there's two players I'm faithful can do it, perhaps in a very different way, though. Psycho, there you can see at the bottom, is his conquest with a shield phase that we're in. That's what that divine shield thing means there, is they protected it from being banned. So then from there, you ban one of each of the opposing classes. You play your best of 3 in conquest of that. So when you win with the deck, it's out. And as you can see, Warrior banned away from Psycho in this one, and that's going to be Paladin banned away from Boar Control, with Priest protected on both sides. So Priest Protect has taken over the world.
Completely
at this point. You are correct about the nuclear metaphor that you have. It's slowly taking over. But that leaves Shaman and Warrior as the differentials here, with Boar Control kind of having that lineup that, one of the key decks being left out has changed the dynamic of every single matchup that we've been seeing so far, whether it's the Warrior that's been omit, like in Tice's lineup, or in Orange's lineup, or here with Boar Control in omitting the Shaman from his altogether. I've liked all of the alternatives that I've seen when players have deviated from just bringing the strongest decks.
Yeah, it's definitely added an extra dynamic. I think this Holy Wrath Paladin has ended up being a pretty strong kicker in terms of a fourth deck, really changing the matchups, changing the way things have to be banned, changing people thinking about their protect options as well. But still, it's had its question marks in terms of playstyle and execution from the players who had it. I think Boar Control is potentially very comfortable with the deck, and that's why we see it get banned out from the other side from Psycho, leaving with Boar Control with these 3 decks that you see remaining on the screen right now.
Yeah, wanted to highlight the Weapons Project and the Whirlwind that are in Boar Control's deck. The Whirlwind I find really interesting because there are 2 things that are happening here. Number 1, he's doing something I absolutely love with his Warrior deck, 2 Plague of Wrath. Card is so monstrously powerful. We've seen it happen again and again. Why is it taking this long? 2 of them, I love that. He's also got the Double Weapons Project with the Harrison Jones. And I think the Weapons Project actually has a lot of synergy with that style of effect as well. Because if one of your goals is to enable Plague of Wrath as many times as you can, having a second weapons project so that you just have something to swing at something occasionally is a big deal.
Something else that's a big deal in this matchup is Evil Totem on turn 2, because it's normally incredibly difficult to contest. And Ball Control now has a decision point to make about how important this totem is to bite the dust versus how important that weapons project Harrison-Jones combination is later in the game.
Smells like Shield Slam to me, which was, you saw Boar mouse it over it. It's his first instinct.
What now?
I've honestly never really seen Boar Control play a lot of Control Warrior outside of tournament play.
It's not a very Boar style of deck, I will say that. He even says this in his interviews that we show sometimes, that he likes decks that get on board and have these tempo swing turns. That's what he's all about. So new Control Warrior has swung a little bit towards Boar Control's way of thinking with some of the bigger minions that it has, but generally Control Warrior not a Boar Control staple.
Yeah, and, you know, I would say early on that I had some, I would say minor critiques at best about his Control Warrior play, but, you know, just over even a couple matches, just a few weeks of his play, I feel like he has just done such a fantastic job of understanding how this deck operates and why it operates. Like, I'm calling it right now, Boar Control's build of Control Warrior is the future of Control Warrior.
Wow. Strong words.
2 Plague of Wrath.
I don't know.
Card is insane.
I don't know about 2 Plague of Wrath. Not sold. It's extremely powerful when it works, when you get it lined up with that Kaboom hero power. Outside of that, it can be sat in hand very, very dead in a lot of spots.
I didn't even think about the counter argument of Viper's Deathwing. They're both filling a similar role, though.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, just an extra board player. Yeah.
Decks have just gotten so powerful that that's what it's come to. You need extra board clear.
Right.
2 Warpath, 2 Brawl, not enough. It's a tough matchup, though. And if there's someone I know that has played lackeys to perfection, it's been Psycho. I think these styles of games are his comfort zone.
We must stand together, united for Dalaran.
Very dramatic for just a 2-2.
I know, I was just kind of I was going to start talking. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let this fanfare rock. I'm feeling it right now.
Khadgar has joined us at the end from the end of last game. He's like, dramatic entries everywhere.
Yeah.
I wonder. There is little time.
I was really wondering if he was going to Bog Slosh with the stealth.
Why?
Maybe a 2-5.
Okay.
It's kind of that weird, awkward point. I think it's too tempting with the Khadgar in play. Just force Boar to deal with stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the Khadgar is always biting the dust this turn. Especially after you send out the signifier by sloshing back the lackey.
What now?
It's been one of the big things that's really missing for Psycho in this is a way to have your battle cries, you know, triple up at times. That's one of the big benefits of Bog Slosher and Youthful Brewmaster and Quest Shaman is being able to triple up on a battle cry. It's like when you return an Evil Cable Rat or a card draw effect, you just get so much out of a pair of cards. Perfect for a matchup like this.
I must choose.
Your magic shall not save
Boar clearly not happy with his position.
I'm trying to think of a Boar face where he's ever been happy with his position. He's like, I'm not decimating my opponent and ending the game. This is such an inferior play to what I expect. I love how animated he is.
Yeah, it's
What to do?
Hey, a free Sandstorm Elemental.
No battle cry.
Nope.
I feel like Psycho's having to fight all of his instincts and blow up thing, go face.
I think he just is going to blow up the thing and go face.
Yeah. He doesn't have the generation to really do much else.
No.
Like, I think his game plan right now is pretty straightforward. Force utility out of 4. Try to buy some time and hope you find generation.
Yeah, no lucky draws. No lucky generators and no card draw really so far for Psycho. I mean, he's just running a little bit dry. So I think they're in response to that, just trying to represent some pressure. Kind of makes some sense. But he is generating a board right into like coin triple warpath.
Brawl, Plague of Wrath, take your pick.
I picked the warpath.
I picked the Brawl.
Really?
The exact reasoning is that sometimes the 0-3 lives. Also, just doesn't make me use my coin.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree the coin is important. Like, there are 2 Mordens and other such cards in Ball Control's future, which might be important with that coin.
The Sky Dog.
Oh, no. No. That's the wrong card.
Board doesn't really have a huge amount of leverage against it, though.
I'm thinking a 5-4 that draws a card, by the way, still has 6 mana. No! That's extra! I'm so upset. If he just would have shield blocked first, everything would have been fine.
Wait, what? What happens?
If he shield blocks first, he draws the weapons project, and then he gets to weapons project, coin Harrison,
Oh, I
and draw
see.
3
Right,
cards.
sorry. I thought you were suggesting something that he actually should have done.
No, it's just,
Yeah.
why is everything lining up this way?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
What now?
And I don't want to give my opponent free mana, so I really want to shield slam.
Yeah, it's getting shield slammed.
Boar's weighing the possibility of perhaps there's something there that's not valuable. Only 2 cards.
I must choose.
I do not want to give them the thing.
Takes the full ball clip. Harrison puts 1 weapon in the museum, then the next one appears. You know, I actually curate a museum myself, Apple.
What do you specialize
It's
with?
called the Sottle Historic Institute of Technology. It's very important you use the full name. We decided not to go with the acronym.
Sottle Historical Institute of Technology. Okay. I just feel like I'm being lied to about that.
Of course it's the right way.
Like, I don't know, just something smells funny.
Yeah.
To clarify, spirits beyond that control the draws when casters say cards. I did not say Restless Mummy. I said something smells funny. Very different.
Yeah, I can understand the confusion, though. It does sound very similar.
Tomb can hold me.
This is getting close to the stranglehold on the game.
Tomb can hold me.
Sure is, and it's a huge win in the context of the series, because it's a big unfavorable for the Control Warrior that you're getting over the line in. Psycho right now is sat with a Shudderwalk in hand that doesn't even give him a full hand refill as it stands at the moment.
Does it do anything? It faceless lackeys, it youthful brewmasters, it bog sloshers, it mind control techs, and it life drinkers.
So, while the literal answer is yes, it does some things, no, it doesn't do anything.
No, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's honestly kind of insane how underwhelming
I think
the
this is
Shudderwalk is.
about the worst possible draw you can have as Shaman against Warrior. Like, it's in that neighborhood.
He drew the Questing Explorer literally right after he completed his quest.
Yeah.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, keep it going. Keep it going. Keep the punishment coming. We haven't had enough today yet.
Goodness gracious, this is ridiculous.
What
It just
to
doesn't do
do?
anything.
I seriously don't think you can play it.
It just doesn't do anything. How is your turn 9 mana pass and not Shudderwalk? Like, how is that the world we live in?
Well, allow me to read you the battle cries again.
No, I understand.
Faceless lackey.
I understand. It was for dramatic effect.
What 10 drop could you even get? Like, let's just say you evolved.
Uh-huh.
What's the 10 cost minion? Colossus of the Moon. Ah, all right, we found it. There you go. Colossus of the Moon. He got the bat again.
It's Dragon.
Oh, no, it's even
It's
worse.
Dragonhawk. It's Dragonhawk.
That one literally does nothing.
Yeah, bat at least has some sort of effect in the matchup in some situations.
To the moon.
Portal is too small.
The opposite direction.
This whole board dies to Dynomatic plus weapon if ball control's feeling brave. Kind of feel like, why wouldn't you at this point?
I kind of feel like, why wouldn't I play Garath?
I think it's easier for Psycho to build big boards from this point than it is to deal a ton of damage. The life drinkers have gone and so is the Shudderwalk. How does he deal damage?
It's kind of why I wanted the extra life.
Huh?
How's he going to deal the rest of the damage if I don't give him the opportunity?
Wait, what?
Life is a powerful resource. You're only up to 30 after the blast shield.
Sure.
Like, normally at this point when you're blast shielding and clearing boards, you're up way beyond this point. At 30, like, where on earth does Psycho find that much damage?
Yeah, alright.
Like, still got 2 Warpaths, Dynomatic, Dr. Boom online?
Fair enough.
You got a second Plague of Wrath in the deck somewhere.
What to do?
I'm used to holding on to that card for dear life because I've had one of them a lot.
Time for a little blood.
I guess it's just smoother. He gets to fit in the hero power this way anyway, and he's preserving a warpath by doing it that way as well, which needs to be played. Yeah, alright, sure. I'm convinced. It helps that the Dynomatic immediately gets enormous value the turn right after. Also, by the way, Psycho drew Mogu Flesh-Shape at the turn after he used his mutate. You just want to keep the hits on rolling.
Right. Generate lackeys. Nope. I was thinking generate lackey into Witchy lackey into Octosari. That was my plan.
It's a good plan.
What to do?
Ball control kind of flagging on resources as well. Kind of for good reason. His deck does omit both copies of Omega Assembly, so that is not a possible draw to refill his hand. You're playing Spellbreaker, double Weapons Project, double Plague of Wrath. Gotta make room for stuff somehow.
I like how it's built.
This would be a good time for a master plan.
I'm not a fan of Zero Assemblies myself.
I wouldn't say I'm a fan of it, but kind of the way I look at it is that it's like control your decks have so much stuff at the top of it, right? Like, I feel like I want to do enough. Like, what's the control warrior deck that just does enough? That's what I've been in pursuit of.
Sure.
A spot like this just feels weird. Like, I don't want a Warpath, I just played my thing.
Yeah,
would be a
the
good
Mummy being
time
in
for a
play from
master
last turn does
plan.
kind of cost, but it's only really this Giggling Inventor that would make a board in one card that Boar would be interested in Warpathing.
Yeah, it's like,
I guess the one former champ as well, he would be thinking about 5-pathing this turn, but then having the Restless Mummy play is good against that anyway. So it is literally just this giggling inventor that makes that Restless Mummy look a little bit stupid. He's just played it, blown it up with his own card.
Yeah, that's some good points though. I just wanted to start delivering pressure.
Yeah. What is happening? Why are we being tortured?
Why are we being to a poor Psycho?
I mean, we as Hearthstone players.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Collective we.
Yes. The royal we.
I have just never seen so many passes with this deck. Like,
Yeah.
this is the least amount of resources I've like ever seen with this deck.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Just a very strange game. Please don't do it.
Double 1-1 all day, every day.
Mental dislocator.
Alright.
All right, it didn't do either of the things I didn't want it to do, which was take 2 1/1s or take both 2 Mordens.
Yeah.
Although both 2 Mordens are probably necessary if Psycho's gonna win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm holding out hope because Quest Shaman is a deck that can just explode out of nowhere off one Novice Engineer, as we've been talking about before. But it's going to need to pop off really hard if it's going to be able to swing back in one turn. Worth noting, there is no Elysiana in Ball Control's deck. So he does actually have to win the game. That's a big difference. A very big difference.
I just realized that. Honestly, I think it's kind of smart. It's like, it's there almost specifically for Control Warrior mirror matchups. That's probably just a matchup that Board's not interested in playing. I mean, look how his Control Warrior's built.
Yeah.
He banned Control Warrior away from Psycho.
And it's going to be a likely ban against the field as well, because the likely protect across the field is the Priest, which means most of the time you're going to end up wanting to be banning Warrior anyway, so why not build your deck around that?
Ruin, despair, destruction.
Ethereal Lackey is going to have to bring the heat if Psycho is going to have any hope of a fatigue plan here, and I think a fatigue plan is about the only plan he does have. Okay.
From nothing, power.
Hex is a card. Lightning Storm is a card.
Is he actually clear here? Hex, Flesh Shaper, Lightning Storm. So if he gets the right rolls in the Lightning Storm.
I think you want to weaponize Wasp this turn, though, while you have the Lackey. It's scary.
I do want to remind you that he has 2 Sludge Slurpers and 2 Evil Cable Rats still in his 11-card deck.
You make a good point. You make a good point.
You know that's happening. Yeah, I don't know. I'm torn, actually. It's kind of tough. It's like the difference in taking extra damage
There's little time.
or in trying to do like anything that really brings some heat.
Yeah, I like the Wasp here.
The Mogus, to me, don't line up well because you're staring down the Kaboom right now, and you're also staring down a bunch of 1/1s. So you just take the damage and then hope you recover. Or do you just sack the Mogus? Call it a day. Wow. Oh, that's brutal. And now you might never get that chance again.
Celiac's coming down. What range does Boar want to play around here from that one spell?
Unity.
I think different positionings, but giving account to the Earthquake, the Lightning Storm.
Job's done.
Finally, the Novice Engineer.
I hope you like my invention.
And here come the lackeys.
I hate
No,
your invention.
not even.
I hate
Not
your
even.
invention. Where's it been? I needed it like 17 turns ago. landslide in game 1.
Horrible, horrible draw from Psycho's side. Adorable cat from ball control side.
Something lighthearted.
I know. We actually do all need that.